Hello and welcome to Art History Around the World with me, Maura Brooke. Today we are going to be learning about medieval castles and medieval times. Now, medieval times is not just a restaurant up in Scottsdale where you can watch actors joust. It was a real time period that lasted about 500 years, from the year 1066 to the 1500s. The medieval time period was a time when kings and wealthy individuals from all over Europe were constantly fighting for power. That meant that they needed large fortresses to protect them. They also wanted to show off their wealth, so we see lots of beautiful details in the architecture of castles. Thousands of castles were built in Europe, and there still are many standing today, which have mostly been turned into museums. Next, let's learn about some famous castles together. The most famous castle in the whole world is Neuschwanstein in Germany. The castles both in Disneyland and Disney World are based on this castle. Next we see the Alcázar de Segovia, an 800-year-old fortress in Spain. It used to be a central point of power and protection, but now it is a tourist attraction visited by many thousands of people throughout the year. Next we are going to look at Corvin Castle in Romania, a 600-year-old castle. It's the perfect example of medieval architecture with steep roofs and thick stone walls. Next, let's look at the Eltz Castle in Germany, a hilltop palace. And after that, we're going to take a look at the Château de Chambord in France, which took 28 years to build and has 440 rooms. After that, we're going to visit the Château de Chenonceau, a castle that spans over a river in France. And finally, we're going to visit Hohenwerfen Castle in Austria, a mountaintop palace. Now, it's important to note that palaces and castles come in all shapes and sizes. They are not just in Europe, and they were not just built in the medieval times. They are all over the world, such as this palace in China, the Forbidden City. We have a palace here in Japan. And we have another castle here in South America in a giant valley. In America, we even have a palace that we call the White House. Next, let's learn some interesting facts about castles. Now, I'll let you read them on your own, but I found it so interesting that some castle walls could be 33 feet thick. Thank you so much for joining me today in learning about medieval castles. Please check out the project in the description, and please join me next week for another virtual art class. Bye!